Today's story, Positive and Empowered. There once lived two boys in a small village, both of them the best of friends. The older one was 10 years of age, and the other was 6. One day, while playing and without realizing it, the two boys went a little far from their village. Lost in their games, the older boy slipped and fell into a ditch, partially filled with water. Not knowing how to swim and scared, the boys started shouting for help. Now the younger boy looked around for help but couldn't find anyone as far as his eyes could see. Suddenly, the 6-year-old boy saw a bucket attached to a rope, and without wasting a moment, threw the bucket into the ditch for his friend. Now the 10-year-old boy hung on to the bucket while the 6-year-old pulled on the rope with all his might. The 6-year-old kept trying and was finally able to pull his friend out of the ditch. Overjoyed with this achievement, the two friends hugged and danced, all covered in mud. But suddenly the thought of their villagers came to their mind. They feared that the villagers would scold them for their carelessness. But then, much to their surprise, nothing like that happened. In fact, the villagers couldn't believe what they heard. How could the 6-year-old boy, who couldn't even lift a bucket full of water, pull the 10-year-old out of the ditch? None of them believed the boys except for an aged man who was considered to be the wisest in the village. He applauded the boys for their bravery and courage. On seeing this, the villagers decided to ask the older man whether the story was real or if it was just a lie. And to this, the wise old man replied, "The question here is not whether the story is real or not. The question you should be asking is, how can a mere 6-year-old boy pull a 10-year-old from the ditch?" He said, "It's simple. It's because y'all didn't listen to the boy's story." He said, "At the time of the incident, there wasn't a single person in the vicinity and everything. And the little boy started praying and asking God to show him what to do. And that's when he saw the bucket and rope. And he kept praying to God. And he kept asking God to give him the strength. And that's the thing. Without a single person in the vicinity to tell the small boy that he couldn't do it, not even the boy himself, because he kept praying and God gave him the strength. And even the little boy now realizes that God was the reason he was able to pull his friend from the ditch." Folks, stop and think about it. When your friend falls in the ditch, do you laugh at him or do you help him get out of the ditch? Sometimes we may be the one that accidentally pushed him into the ditch or even on purpose did it. But we need to stop and don't do things like that. We need to be like the 6-year-old. We need to stop and pray and ask God for the strength to do what is right. The 6-year-old was able to accomplish what nobody thought he could do because there was nobody there to tell him he couldn't. And he asked God for the strength to do what needed to be done. Let us remember, prayer can give us strength. Faith can move a mountain. The Bible tells us that. And God tells us the fervent prayer of one righteous person can accomplish many great things. So remember, before you start a task, talk to God about it, pray about it, and then when God tells you what to do it exactly as God tells you. And you'll see that you can pull that friend out of the ditch. You can do many things as long as you listen to what God is telling you. Y'all have a blessed day.